A test, because that's God's purpose. God's purpose is to test us. Satan's purpose is to tempt us. And why are trials particularly a temptation? Because that's when we're tempted to look at God as not caring for us, and He's not with us, and we can get upset with other people in that trial. There's all kinds of ways that a trial becomes a temptation. And so I want you to look at this chapter in Numbers chapter 20. We actually read it in that morning service. The scripture reading was this. I asked Pastor if he would have that read. And I'm going to start in verse 3, Numbers chapter 20, verse 3. And the people showed, that is, contended with Moses, and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes. And it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. So what did God tell him to do? He was to speak, and then water would come forth. Verse 9, And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him, and Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believed me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. Now I want to ask you, was this a trial for Moses? Was this a trial?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. God allowed this to happen. God gave him instruction on what to do. Was this also a temptation for Moses?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Did he take the temptation and fall? Yes, he did. Would you say that he was angry?
Yes.
How do we know that? What tells us that in the text?
What he calls them?
Okay, what he called them? He called them rebels, and you can just sense the poison in that, as he called them rebels. And then he hit the rock because he was angry. Now let me ask you, why was he angry? Why was he angry?
Because they were questioning why he brought them into wilderness. They're supposed to be in Egypt.
Okay. And what was wrong with that?
Because they were looking at all the times that they went, they only had manna, and then no water. So
Yes.
they thought when in Egypt, where they went through trials and temptations, but they still having a food on the table.
Okay, good. And let me ask you this. If we were going to lay fault on somebody, whose fault was it that they were there? I'm using the word fall in the sense of where their attention should have been. The fault, if we're going to call it that, the reason why we're there is because God guided them there. He guided them there even though God knew there was no water. And